A Colt 1911 A1 Series 80. That's what I've got right here. It's not a new one, but it is new to me. And I've talked about getting a new 1911 in one of my other videos, and some of you guys asked to see it, and here it is. This is actually a Colt, what they call a 1991 A1. And as you can tell, if you know these pistols by this roll mark, this is one of the earlier ones. What's commonly referred to in the Colt community as the ORM, stands for Old Roll Mark. This is, like I said, a Series 80 pistol, which means this one's got the firing pin safety, as opposed to the Series 70 that would have been more to spec of the original 1911 A1 model. This one I purchased used from the previous owner, who was actually the first owner of this pistol, but the shop that he bought it from had made some modifications to the gun when he bought it new. And he shot it a fair amount of times, not excessively, as you can tell that the pistol is still in relatively good condition, although there is a fair amount of work done to it. Namely, gunsmithing wise, there is a lowered and flare ejection port, fitted beaver tail, swapped out the original spur hammer for a commander style hammer, which I wish they wouldn't have done that. I've done some work to this since I've owned it for the last several weeks. They used to have this arch mainspring housing, a polymer one, which I don't like the fact that it's polymer, and I don't like the fact that it has the long trigger that goes with the arch mainspring, so I got rid of that and put a steel one on. And it had this extended thumb safety, which would have been fine because it's not an ambi. I don't want an ambi on this gun, but this was kind of poorly fitted, and the way that they had fitted this kind of got this like squishy feeling, and it also moved inappropriately in the wrong position. When the hammer was pulled back, obviously it would go into safe, but when the hammer was down, it would still go partially up, which I didn't like that at all. I wanted to have a nice positive engage and disengage feel, which now it has. Okay, obviously I had previously safety checked this. Nothing here, nothing there. It came with one Colt magazine, which is really high quality, and a kind of a low-end, I believe this is called a Shooting Star brand 7-round magazine. 7 or 8, I'm not sure. I haven't shot this gun, and haven't used this magazine, so I don't know if it's reliable or not, but it does feel kind of cheap as opposed to some of the other magazines I've got. But for range use, it ought to be good. Even if it fails a little bit, it's good to have something for failure drill practice. So I promptly swapped these out. Okay, go back to the features that I've been done to this. So I swapped that out for GI style thumb safety. Swapped that out for flat mainspring steel housing. Both of those needed some fitting. I also took off the grips that came with the gun, which were these double diamond wood grips. They look actually really nice. I just didn't like the color. I wanted them to be a little bit darker, and these didn't look quite right, being so light and bright on this blued Colt 1911. So I took these off and I put these Pachmeyer wraparound grips on, which I didn't like on my stainless Springfield, but I like it on a blued 1911 better. So I actually like the way this is, and it didn't have a checkered front strap, so this will help with the grip, especially since this is going to be a shooter. It'll be nice to have a nice, good, firm purchase on this pistol grip. It had a fitted match grade bushing, and it's when you disassemble this, you can tell this is fitted on there perfectly. I mean, it's just the right amount of tension when you take it off. So this barrel, meanwhile, it lets the barrel slide back and forth pretty smoothly. And as far as that recoil spring goes, it's stiffer than my Springfield, which I'm assuming has no effect on function. Since I haven't shot it yet, I don't really know. Two-piece full-length guide rod, which if you watch my other video, I'm not a huge fan of. It does take some time and a tool to disassemble. I'm going to swap that out. I've got a GI style plug. Now I just got to get a GI style guide rod to put in here. This gun, being that it's the 1991 A1 model, originally Colt created them back in 1991, and they called it the 1991 as kind of a gimmick. But the reason they came out with this gun is to sort of compete with the lower end market. This was offered much cheaper than some of the other guns that were offered at the time, like the Gold Cup and the such. So that they had a lower end 1911, but they were still very good quality guns when they came out. This particular one, I don't know exactly the year, but from looking at the manual, which is right here, this manual has, first of all, the copyright date on the manual was 1996, and then this was September 97 revision F. So I'm going to put this gun, as far as manufacturing date goes, somewhere in late 97, early 98. So that puts this gun today, or this year is 2011. That puts this gun somewhere in the 13 to 15 year range, year-old range. So being as old as this possibly could be, it's in really good condition. The previous owner have owned it for that long and didn't shoot it that much. But it's going to be a different story for me. I'm going to shoot the hell out of this. Has the standard sights that came with the gun, as far as I can tell, and they are not quite as low as the GI ones that come with the original A1s that were issued back in the day. Those are really low battle sights. These are a little bit higher. These would have been equivalent to what comes with the Springfield mil-spec model. But there's no dots on the sights, rear or front, which makes it a little bit tough to acquire in the dark. But it's doable, or in dim light, it's doable. A little dab of paint on the front and maybe the rear is really going to help that. So I haven't shot this, like I said, so I'm looking forward to shooting this gun and come back to you guys with some thoughts of what I think. I expect good things about it. I expect good accuracy, and I expect pretty flawless performance, but only going out and shooting this will be able to tell. And again, this is my Series 80 Colt 1991. New to me, although I'm the second owner. Let me give you some close-ups. Again, its build quality is really nice. It is a Colt, and its frame to slide fit is very tight, as well as the bushing fit, which is why I expect good accuracy out of this. Thanks for watching.